Hello, beautiful people. I don't know what that was about. Okay, hey y'all. Today is July the 2nd, 2019, and today is a very, very powerful day. You want to know why? Because today is the new moon in the sign of Cancer, and it is the day of a total solar eclipse. So we're about to get into this, y'all. So stick with me. So, you already know, if you've been following me for any length of time, that it doesn't matter what sign you are, doesn't matter when your birthday is, we are all impacted by whatever is going on in the cosmos, just like the cosmos is impacted by us. So right now, the moon, we're experiencing a powerful new moon in the sign of Cancer. The sun is in the sign of Cancer, and today we are experiencing a total solar eclipse, which is a lot going on. So if you watched my previous video a couple of weeks ago, I did a video on the new moon that was in the sign of Sagittarius, and I briefly talked about how every year, every sign experiences one new moon and one full moon. And I said I would go into that more here. And so right now we are experiencing the new moon in the sign of Cancer. So a lot of times people tend to only think about the moon's 28-day cycle. So today is a new moon, 2 weeks from now we'll have a full moon, and 2 weeks later we'll have another new moon. And most people do all of their manifestation and their magic and even just their attention to the moon based on that 28-day cycle. But really, when we are focusing on a particular energy, like right now the sign of Cancer and the Cancerian energy, it's good to look 6 months prior and then 6 months ahead, because again, every year there's only one new moon in a particular sign and one full moon in a particular sign. So right now we are experiencing the new moon in the sign of Cancer, and 6 months from now we'll experience the full moon in the sign of Cancer. That means we have 6 months to work on this particular Cancerian energy. What is the Cancerian energy, you might ask? So whenever the sun and the moon are in the sign of Cancer, the Cancerian energy is really speaking to us. And what that means is Cancer energy is very nurturing, very much about the home, very much about what does home mean? Where do you feel most at home? Where are you most comfortable? Also, what do you protect? Think about your home. When you feel at home with someone or somewhere, there's usually a place or person that you protect the most, right? Cancer deals with our mothering and motherhood. So if you are a mother or you have a mother, depending on that relationship, but that's usually a bond that you want to protect. A mother usually protects their children, or at least whoever is in that mothering role tends to be very nurturing and protective of their children. And so for those of you who follow, let's just say Yoruba Ifa, Cancer season is a lot of times attributed to the Orisha Yemoja, the Orisha of the ocean, who nurtures her children, who protects her children. And that energy, has a lot of different names, but it's always the great mother, right? The mothering energy and the protective. Another symbol of Cancer is actually the crab, believe it or not. I just said all this mothering stuff, and then I just said a crab, which isn't the most motherly looking thing, right? But a crab has a very, very hard shell. To do what? To protect its soft and tender meat. So that's kind of how we are when we are functioning in our Cancerian energy. We have a very hard exterior, but a very emotional, soft, loving interior, right? A lot of times we don't let people in to our softest, most intimate parts of ourselves because they haven't proven to be trustworthy yet, or we may feel that we have to protect our feelings. We have to protect, what is most closest to us, what's most vulnerable. And vulnerable actually is the key word that I want to use during this video, and I want you to really kind of tap into, because vulnerability is very important during this new moon in Cancer, along with today's solar eclipse. Our vulnerabilities, right? Where are we most vulnerable? Cancer energy, if you know people who are the sign of Cancer, you know, a lot of times they may seem unemotional, but then you hit some kind of trigger with them and the floodgates open up with the tears, or maybe another emotion such as anger surfaces that you didn't even realize was there. Because Cancer energy, when it's not nurtured and cultivated, kind of encourages us to push our emotions down, to put things to the back burner, to say it's not that important, to hide it, until all of a sudden it becomes overwhelming and it spills out. And so what is this Cancer new moon saying to us, and what is this solar eclipse saying to us? It's saying to us that it is time to get vulnerable with how we feel, no matter what sign you are. I don't care. You know, no matter when your birthday is, it doesn't matter. You know, we are all impacted. Cancer is somewhere in your birth chart, and we are all impacted by this energy. So this Cancer new moon and this Cancer solar eclipse, the moon is eclipsing the sun. Meaning the sun in Cancer wants to act like everything is all good, have this hard shell, be untouchable. You can't touch me, can't hurt my feelings. And the moon, which actually rules Cancer, is eclipsing that. It's saying, no, it's time to get real about how you feel. And not to do that little sideways dance that Cancers sometimes do. If you watch a crab, it walks sideways. It never just walks straight on, right? It always does this little sideways dance. So this Cancer new moon is asking us, you know, in what ways are we doing the sideways dance? In what ways are we afraid to be direct? Now, being direct doesn't mean that you have to be aggressive or mean. It just means that you are speaking up, that you are being clear, especially with this Mercury retrograde that's about to go down. Our communication has to be clear. And in order for our communication to be clear, we have to be clear about how we feel. We can't assume that people know how we feel if we don't say how we feel. We can't assume that people know what's important to us if we don't tell people what's important to us, you know? And so that is what this new moon is about. If we look 6 months ahead, when the full moon in Cancer happens, we should be able to see growth and development in how we nurture our emotions, our moods, how we take care, even how we take care of our home, y'all. You know, do you just throw your stuff around? Do you not keep your stuff clean? How do you keep your home? You know, do you even feel at home in your home? And if not, why? You know, does your home feel like a safe place? Some of us don't feel safe at home because who lives there? You know, or we're always comparing what we have to what other people have. And then we put on this hard shell like it's all good, like we're all okay, right? So this Cancer new moon is asking us, and especially with this eclipse, this solar eclipse, is requiring us to be very, very vulnerable. Now that's uncomfortable when you're used to hiding behind your shell, when you're used to pretending like everything is all good, everything is okay. And the Cancer new moon and solar eclipse is saying, but you know, in what ways are you hiding how you feel because you are ashamed, or you're afraid that, you know, people aren't going to respect your feelings, you know? And 9 times out of 10, when you're just upfront and honest about how you feel and about what you need and what you desire and what you want and what's important to you, the people who really care about you will honor that and will respect that. All right? So no matter when your birthday is, no matter what sign you are, today and in the days upcoming, it's very important to pay attention to how you feel. How do your moods fluctuate? How do you want to see growth and development and elevation in your home life, in your mothering, in your relationship with your mother, in your and anything that you love and nurture, and in your emotions? How do you want to see growth and development over that, in those areas of your life over the next 6 months? That's really important. That's what we are being asked to do. And in order to do that, we have to be vulnerable. All right. So I'm going to pick just 3 cards for just some additional wisdom as to what we all need to know, do, and be aware of as it relates to this Cancer new moon and this Cancer solar eclipse. All right. So before I do that though, I laid out these stones. One of the stones that really connect with the sign of Cancer is moonstone. And I have 3 different moonstones here actually. This is like a red peachy kind of moonstone. This is a smoky moonstone. And this is just the regular moonstone that most people are aware of. And moonstone, with the moon being the planet of the sign of Cancer, really helps us to connect with our deepest emotions. So this is something that you can hold while you're meditating. You can sleep with it under your pillow. And you can just ask yourself, really, you know, ways that you can become more in tune with your truest emotions and to be more courageous with your emotions. If I had to say anything, is that, you know, Cancer energy feels a lot. Cancer energy is very emotional, very connected even to other people's emotions. So how can you be not only more vulnerable when it comes to your emotions, but less fearful about that vulnerability, and actually see that vulnerability as a source of power and empowerment rather than a weakness? It's not a weakness at all. All right. So what do we most need to know, do, and be aware of over the next couple of days as it relates to this Cancer energy, this Cancer new moon, this Cancer solar eclipse? And how can we use it for our growth, elevation, and development until the Cancer full moon 6 months from now? All right, I've got 1 card. Get 2 more cards. All right. All right. So the first card I received was the 8 of Swords, followed by the Queen of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. All right, so let's start from the beginning. So the 8 of Swords is very much about being locked in your own little mental prison, which is something that I noticed that whenever we are dealing with a lot of Cancer energy, or if even people who carry a lot of Cancer placements in their chart, we tend to overthink how other people will perceive us, how other people will feel about how we feel. With a lot of Cancer energy sometimes comes a lot of overthinking because, you know, when Cancer energy is not cultivated, we're always afraid that somebody's going to take advantage of our vulnerability. We're afraid to be vulnerable. We're afraid to share how we feel. We're afraid of somebody taking advantage of what we love and honor and protect. And so that is what this energy is about, which speaks a lot about what I said about overcoming that vulnerability. That fear is in your mind. That fear is really just something you've developed over time. Maybe like when you were younger, if you shared how you felt and your feelings weren't honored, your feelings weren't respected, then you may have developed this habit very early on to not be honest about how you feel. And so sometimes when Cancer energy is out of whack, what comes with that is manipulation, because I don't want to tell you how I really feel. So I'll just, like I said earlier, do this little sideways dance and just kind of hint around about what I want, hint around about how I feel, and hope that you pick up the message. But the Swords energy is all about, anytime you see swords, that's about clarity. This isn't about hinting around about how you feel. This isn't about hinting around about what's important to you or even lying about what's important to you. It's about removing the blindfold, cutting the ropes that you've tied around yourself, and allowing yourself to feel, allowing yourself to be honest about what is valuable and what is important to you, and sharing that with those who can be trusted. Now, if people can't be trusted, just don't deal with them. I mean, it's just that simple. But those who can be trusted with your heart and with your feelings, and not only with your heart, but with the things that are closest and the people who are closest to you, then you don't have to do this with them. You don't have to do, because really ultimately it's holding yourself back. And that can erupt into volatile emotions if we're not careful. And so deeper wisdom with that comes with the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is very much a nurturer. She's very much, she knows exactly what's important to her. And a lot of times when you see the Queen of Pentacles, it deals with the energy of money and resources. But even deeper than that, since we're in Cancer season, it also connects with the Queen of Pentacles takes care of those she loves and the things that she loves and values. So as it relates to your home life, what is in your home that is important? Do you take care of the things that are in your home, or do you just run them down? How do you see, the thing about this Cancer energy, even though Cancer is very emotional and feeling and very in tune with the emotions, because of that, it requires it requires us to be responsible. So if I'm going to be like that Cancerian crab with that hard shell to protect those that I love and protect, the tender, most vulnerable parts of me, I can't just always be in protection mode. I have to be in nurturing mode. That's what the Queen of Pentacles is. She nurtures those she cares about. She nurtures her home. She adds value. If you're always in defense mode, you're going to be here. If you're always in protection mode and defense and not letting people see who you really are, then it actually puts you in a box. You think you're putting other people in a box, but it puts you in a box. The Queen of Pentacles is saying, get out of that. Get out of that and learn to nurture your emotions. Learn to add value to the things that you love. Not just protect the things you love, but to add value to them and to take care of them and to nurture them. And it's okay, even on another level, to nurture your own emotions, to get in tune with how you feel. Ask yourself, how do I really feel about whatever? What is most important to me? Why did I get so upset about that thing or that person? Why do I feel I can't share my emotions? A lot of times when we feel we can't share how we feel, it's because we are not comfortable with how we feel. It has very little to do with the other person. Because again, the other person, if they truly value you, even if they don't agree with you, they will at least value your emotions and value where you stand. And then the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is like divinely given power. It's not power that you forced. It's not power that, you said, I'm going to go out and get more power. It's like the divine just giving you power. The divine just giving you that inner empowerment. That comes from here. That comes from here. When you get in line with your emotions, when you value how you feel, and you honor how you feel, and you're not always just in protective mode, you're not always in just trying to stay guarded and shield how you feel, not letting people see your real self, right? When you truly add value to who you are and how you feel and your emotions, and which are so important. Don't let anybody tell you that emotions aren't important. And this is coming from somebody who's a Virgo sun and a Gemini moon. So a lot of times I'm a lot in my head, a lot on the logical sense, but emotions are very, very important. How we feel and the fluctuation of our moods. What comes from that is power. So now our moods aren't governed by other people. Our moods aren't shifted and moved, just by daily circumstances, or if this person feels this way, then I'm gonna feel this way, Or if this person feels this way, then I'm going to tell them how angry I am all the time. You know, because that's the other side I see with people who carry a lot of Cancerian energy, or when we're influenced by this Cancerian energy, is that we mistake our anger for power. You know, we mistake our anger for influence, you know, but really it's just an emotion. And a lot of people just are just angry to no end. They're angry without shifting things. They're angry without changing things. They're emotional without making a change and a difference. And really the change and the difference that happens in your own life, happens within yourself first. And then with that comes power. Then with that comes influence, you know, because you are using your emotions, your energy in motion. That's what emotions are. You're using your energy in motion to change, to shift, to grow, to elevate, not to just sit and feel anger or sadness, or even just, you know, even if it's a happy feeling, you know. So anyway, so that is pretty much it. Get out of your head about it. Honor your emotions and honor the people and things that matter most to you. Protect. Get out of just protection mode, but get into really providing and nurturing and cultivating mode. And with that comes power. It comes power to elevate. It comes power to grow. It becomes your power of the development that you would like to see in your life over the next 6 months. All right, so that is it. That is it. And make sure you click the link in my bio below, and I'm always thinking I'm on Instagram, link in the bio. This will go on, part of this will be on Instagram. But on YouTube, look in the description box below and click the link in my bio, and you can book a personal reading. And you can also get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, which is available on Amazon. And happy new moon in Cancer. See y'all in the full moon 6 months from now in the sign of Cancer. All right. Peace and love.